Morning, JR.
Morning.
How many times have you watched the last play of last season, especially being on the field? And what was your thought process in the days and weeks after that final play?
I haven't watched it a lot. I watched the whole film. I watched the game probably 3 times, just like any other game. And then when it happens, it just happens. It is what it is. Those plays happen in football, and you just got to move on.
We'll go over here to the left on the end, second row.
JR, earlier you talked about having this chip on your shoulder as a guy that transferred in, and it was maybe seen as an under-the-radar guy. I mean, after the success you had last year, what are your expectations coming in to your second season of playing at Georgia? And then also, in terms of the secondary, is it a good thing to have all these young guys, or is there kind of too much of a learning curve that has to take place?
My expectation is just to lead those young guys. Like you said, we have a lot of them. And it's up to me, DeAndre Baker, and a lot of older guys to lead those guys in the right direction just for Georgia going forward and for this team next year.
We'll go over here on the right side in the middle of the second row.
Everybody is excited about the receiving class that Georgia has coming in next year, but you go up against the current guys here in practice. What do you think is the strength of this year's receiving group, and who stands out to you?
A lot of these guys have played before. You got Terry, Riley Ridley, and then Miko has emerged. So I'll definitely say experience is the key for those guys.
We'll go front row on the left.
2 questions. What led you to transfer from Tulsa to Georgia? And secondly, talk about your relationship with Nigel Warrior, the Tennessee safety.
What led me to leave was to play against better competition. I always believe that I can play against the best. I want to be against the best, and SEC is where the best players play. I came to a great coaching staff with Coach Smart and Mel Tucker, and that's why I left. Nigel Warrior is actually my first cousin, my little cousin, and we have a really good relationship. We all grew up together, me and D'Angelo Gibbs, and we went to our granny's house right in Covington every summer. We all played outside together.
We'll go here standing on the right side.
You mentioned Terry Godwin. What's difficult about covering him in practice, and what does he do so well against opposing defense that can give them trouble?
Terry runs very good routes, and I think that's what separates him from everyone else, and he's very quick in and out his breaks.
We'll go over here on the end, front row, the left side.
How have you seen your role in the defense develop through last year, through the spring, and then going into next season?
Oh, really, last year, I was very new experience on the team, so I was almost like a young guy on the team, even though I was older, but I was just my first year playing. So now my role has switched to being the older guy that's playing, and now I know how to relate to guys that are going to be their first year.
We'll go to the middle of the back row, over here on the right side.
Hey, JR. So as a D-back at Georgia, what is it like to have a coach who is also a D-back at Georgia? What does that mean to you?
It means the world. It means that he knows what he's talking about. It means that he has that passion for Georgia, just like we do too.
Go over here on the left side, second row.
JR, 2 questions. First one, Georgia's brought in another great recruiting class. You as a veteran now, what do you look for in a young kid and a young guy that says, okay, that kid can help us, that kid can play right away? What are the things you look for when you know a guy will be able to play fast?
I look for him to learn the playbook. A lot of guys have talent on this team. We have a lot of young guys that came in with talent. But it's all about learning the playbook, and that's the way they're going to get on the field.
Number 1 recruiting class, but also this team played in the national championship game last year. How hard do you think it will be for some of those freshmen to play and earn time right away?
We had a lot of spots open on defense, so it's all up to them, all of them that they can learn. And we also got guys that have been in the program for 3-4 years that people tend to forget that are ready, and it's their time to play too.
We'll go standing over here to the right side.
JR, with your dad having so much experience in the league, what are some of the conversations that you've had with him that maybe you've taken away and implemented into your collegiate game?
My dad just told me, just relax and have fun, Just relax and have fun. It's just a game at the end of the day. And always tell me, fly to the ball and be aggressive.
Go back here, standing on the left side.
Hey, JR, your coach was in here. He basically said, you're not here just because of your stats. You're more here because you've emerged as a team leader. What's that mean that he has that much confidence in you, especially as a guy who didn't start his career at Georgia?
It means the world that Coach Smart believes in me like that. Ever since I got here, Coach Smart's coached me very hard. And just for him to say that means a lot.
We'll go right here in the middle, end of the third row.
Hey, JR, Georgia makes their first trip to LSU in 10 years this season. I just want to know if you've given any thoughts to playing in that venue, what you've heard about going to Tiger Stadium.
I can't wait. I got family in Louisiana. I can't wait to show out for those people.
Again, if you got questions for JR, just raise your hand. We'll get your microphone. We'll go back here to the right, camera position.
Right here, JR. Going back to last season, how often do you guys as players talk about that final play, that final game, and how much does that still sting? And have you used that as all for motivation, moving forward for the season?
The last play really doesn't sting at all. It's just losing as a team and going back and do things that you could have done. And, we have a chip on our shoulder now. It doesn't matter if you win the SEC championship or the Rose Bowl. We want the national championship, and that's the expectation that we have for this team.
We'll go front row to the left.
JR, how much confidence do you and the team draw from what you were able to accomplish last year?
We know what we have to do to get there. We know how to do it. The older guys last year that graduated showed us the way, and we just got to get guys to buy in, and we'll be back.
If you'll raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. Any other questions for JR? Go right here to the left on the second row.
JR, you mentioned earlier that there's some guys that is their turn, their time to shine, I guess, a little bit. Who are those guys to you? And also, is Richard LeCount, what do you see out of him this year at Georgia?
Definitely, we've got a lot of linebackers that, they've been waiting their turn. You got Tay Crowder, Jawan Taylor, Natrez Patrick. You got some guys on the D-line that it's their turn. You got David Marshall, Tyler Clark, who's emerging. And Richard LeCount's definitely shown me some maturity. He's definitely matured, and he's definitely learned the playbook. And that's the biggest thing that I've seen out of this guy.
We'll go camera position on the back right over here.
Not a lot of quarterbacks here this year at SEC Media Days. How do you rate the level of quarterback play in this conference right now going into the season?
There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the SEC, even though they're not here. You got some good ones throughout the whole conference, and I think quarterbacks in the SEC are kind of slept on just because SEC is not known for passing.
Go down here in the middle in the second row.
Yeah, sort of on that same line. You guys played Drew Lock last year at Mizzou. Where does he compare? You play Jarrett Stidham, you play Drew Lock. Just what have you seen from those two guys, and what excites you about playing against an elite quarterback like those?
Drew Lock, he's definitely going to see him on Sundays sometime. That's excites me playing against him. He has a very big arm. And Jarrett Stidham, he's the ultimate competitor. That guy will put his body on the line to win.